Good afternoon, Glendale. Welcome to the monthly meeting of the Arts and Culture Commission. Today is Thursday, February 12th at 2 p.m.
19th.
Yes, what did I say? The 19th. So I'm sorry, a week behind. Richard, take it away.
Roll call. Commissioner Stepani.
Present.
Commissioner Lee.
Present.
Commissioner Vinician is absent. Commissioner Solis, absent. Commissioner Wagner.
Present.
Commissioner Gregorian is absent. Chairperson Kivanian.
Here. Next item, please.
Approval of regular commission meeting minutes from January 15th, 2009 at 2 p.m.
Move approval of the minutes.
I wasn't here, so I can't say anything.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Roll call. Okay. Commissioner Stepanian.
Aye.
Commissioner Lee.
Aye.
Commissioner Dehovannisian is absent. Commissioner Solis is absent. Commissioner Wagner.
Yes.
Commissioner Gregorian is absent. Chairperson Kivanian.
I'll abstain. Next item, please.
Introductions and presentations, there are none. Oral communications, there are none. Business agenda, action items, none. Reports. Man's Inhumanity to Man art exhibition update.
Finally, we have something to talk about. But it's a promise, you're going to have many action items at our next meeting's agenda. Since my last report, there has been major progress in organizing the Men's Inhumanity to Men event. As you know, we have a subcommittee who has been meeting every week regularly, and they've been in charge of getting involved. They've been involved in many important areas of this project. The good news that I would love to share with you is that they were able to secure the funds, and we have received $10,000 check from a very generous contributor who sponsors this event, and which gives us an opportunity to go ahead and plan and do the creative side of the project. Now the subcommittee is actively doing the programming, budgeting, and the deadline for getting the submissions was February 6th, and we received 90 portfolios from different part of the country, and total of about 450 images, and we already created our database, and the original submission portfolios has been sent to the curator for her to start the selection process. Of course, there are a lot of other things that we are working towards. The publicity and the programming is the next step for this event. But it's going very well, and the subcommittee members actually are doing a terrific job. They've been extremely enthusiastic and very active, regularly meeting, and everybody has been contributed to this project. They're done their best. If Chair Kevanian likes to add more information, he's one of the subcommittee members as well.
Sure, I'd just like to add that we decided as a subcommittee to hire a curator, and she's co-curating, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
I think
correct.
we had a very lengthy discussion about how we want to manage the entire event, and her name is Ramela Abamontian, and I think she did a master's thesis on
She has a
art.
PhD degree.
Oh, there you go. So, I mean, she's more than qualified to do this, and she's actually doing it at a very discounted rate. And like Ms. Marashan had just stated, we were able to secure $10,000. But we essentially, Razmik, Commissioner Gregorian and Commissioner Dehovannisian, they were the ones who went out and got $10,000 for us. So that's a huge help. And we're going to have different types of events. gallery walkthroughs. We're going to have, I think, Vache Mangarian is going to come play for us. He's a pianist, fantastic pianist. He's going to come play for us. We're going to have dancers and poetry readings throughout the month of April. So we're trying to make this this event a very large scope and broad event, not just an art gallery show.
And of course, every 2 weeks, staff reports back to the main committee of the commemoration, weekly commemoration committee, about the progress that the subcommittee has made.
Do we have the dates for not only for this committee's events, but the
entire.
Or is that on the city website?
No, unfortunately, we were not able to have the web page, but I'm working towards that. But the exhibition is going to take place from April 4 to May 8. The deadline, like I said, for the submission was February 6. We do not accept any more submissions, but by May 6 we will have the selection of the curator. We will know for sure who's in, who's out, and then we have to start creating the collaterals, the postcards, invitation letters. These are the dates.
And also preparing.
Most important date, probably, all these important dates will be on the postcard, on the invitation card, letting public know about the programming we have on April 18, I believe. April 18 is the most important day. There will be a whole day event, programs, lectures, Q&A with artists, panel discussions, and teachers meeting. Many things are happening in one day. But April 15 is the day for the pianist Vache Mangarian to perform. But we will have our exact dates announced, I believe.
They're not precisely in concrete
Right.
yet. We're still in
not-
discussion of when these things are going to be placed and how they're going to be placed.
Is the city's, the big program, is that the Sunday following? Is that
on the,
on the 24th
that's on the 24th
at the Alex?
at the Alex.
Okay. I had heard about something that was before or after. Okay.
No, that's on the 24th.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
Any other questions, comments? Okay, next item.
Art policies in the parks, recreation, and community services facilities.
As I reported in my last at the last meeting, the Parks, Recreations, and Community Services Department is making its facilities available for art projects. Therefore, we need to have formal policies. This policy will set guidelines for important areas, criteria like selection committee, the lead organizations, who's going to make the decisions about this, and the guidelines for artists to submission, timelines. Many important areas has to be considered before we come back to you with a draft. I invited today Teresa Alexanian. She is the administrative analyst at our department, Parks, and she's the key person. Actually, she's one of the members of the team who's working with us to develop the policies, and she'll be the best person to answer any of your questions regarding the procedure, how to develop policies. But art-related, anything else, I'll be more than happy to answer your question. Would you please, in case if you have any questions, she's available.
Any questions, comments?
Well, yes. I guess, is there an estimated timeline for when we might have a policy in place so that if, for instance, somebody had an idea for an exhibit at the Adams Square Mini Park or any other place, we might be able to say
Well,
when that
before
might
the
happen?
final policy gets approved, it will take time. We have to have a draft. We'll come back to you and we'll get your input and ideas and suggestions. But it has to be approved by the council eventually. So we're coming back to you hopefully next month with a draft. Hopefully. We're working regularly on this project. We think it's very important. It's a great opportunity for artists to be able to use the facilities. And the very first place we want to start from is to go and visit those community facilities in the parks area and identify their characteristics and see some of those areas might offer indoor exhibition opportunities, the others outdoor or both or none. So we really need to know exactly what facilities will be good for this use, and also we have to identify, like I said, the lead organizations who are going to involved in selection criteria, in making decisions. And also, there are many other areas that Teresa is looking into, is the insurance and liability and appeal process, cancellation. There are many, many important areas to consider. But after our extensive research, Richard is also involved in working on this project. It's kind of surprising, but not every city has a policy that it can be easily copy and paste and used for our city. So we would like to be very thorough and do the right policy which will benefit the artists in our city.
Is the draft policy including the Arts and Culture Commission as a body in the approval process, or is it going to be, might it just refer to a city body, or, I mean, you know what I'm, since we don't expect
I'm
to be
sure
here.
Arts and Culture Commission will be part of those decision-making organizations, but at this time,
Well, no, the question is, we're working on a draft, we're hoping to finish it.
Right.
It would seem to me that it would perhaps be a mistake to create a draft that refers to a commission that we don't expect to be in existence, that we've been expecting would be transformed into something else within, well, by now, but,
nothing is certain at this time. We don't really know.
well, do you see my point?
Well, good afternoon, Chair Kavanian and members of the Commission. My name is Teresa, and I work in the Parks Department, as Ripsme mentioned. We will be bringing it back to the Arts Commission if at the time, the Commission is still here and still representing the arts in the community. So it actually depends on how long it will take us to finalize this draft and have something to present to everybody. So we can't make that decision at this point, but yes, we are planning on coming back to the Arts Commission.
My question really isn't about us approving the draft. I mean, it's more about what the draft will include and whether the draft includes the Arts and Culture Commission as a body that will have
Yes,
some role.
That's what I'm saying, that it is in the draft form, and we haven't gone to the specifics of who will be the selection criteria, the members of the selection criteria, and who will be involved in the approval process. I'm sorry if I misunderstood your question, but if that's what you're asking, we haven't finalized anything yet, and when it comes time to the approval process, when we are going to be presenting it and saying this is our final draft, we'll have to make the decision then, but we're considering all the options and everybody involved at this point. So we don't have a final draft, so I can't tell you who will be the approving body at this point, but we are working on that and taking that into consideration. So
you said Arts and Culture Commission will be considered if it's still here. That's what you said.
Yes, we will consider the Arts and Culture Commission.
Any other questions, comments? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Diamond Awards for Achievement in the Arts update.
like to update you on the progress we have made on the Diamond Awards for Achievement in the Arts 2009. As you know, 2 selection panels were formed to do the reviewing of the nominations, and these 2 panels met last week. First panel of the judges reviewed the nominations for the Lifetime Achievement and Artist categories. The second panel reviewed the art organizations and community partner business, community partner individual categories. Not the young artist category was not being considered at this time. We had only 1 nomination. That's why we didn't even go to that 1 category. As of we already know the winners, but we would like to come back next, even though in my report I mentioned that for your approval we'll come back on the April 16 meeting, but it will be next meeting. I believe we need enough time after the announcement to start doing the promotion. It will take time. So at our next meeting we'll come back for your final approval. We'll bring the nominations. In regards our venue, unfortunately, the Americana is not going to be available. The community room is not big enough. It holds only 62 people, and we're expecting much more. So I've been looking around for another venue. At our next meeting, I will come back with a venue and a date, exact date, for your approval.
Great. Questions, comments? Okay. Next item, please.
If I may, I think, were we going to include the company that donated to the Man's Inhumanity on this list or no?
That's a good question because we don't have any winners finalists for business, nonprofit, business for profit category at this time, and it would have been a good idea to, in a way, acknowledge and recognize this generous donor. We don't know the process to go through that. Do we need to extend the nomination period and create new judges panel, or we can just create new category for this one instant as a special occasion and include him at the Diamond Award ceremony? How would you like to do it? Do you want to create a new category for this one individual for this year's Diamond Award?
Well, I don't know if this is the appropriate time to discuss this.
I don't think we
No,
can.
we have to come back if you want to do that.
What we can do is, at the next meeting, once it's an action item, we can discuss it then, and we can decide what we want to do with that. Because this is,
I understand that, and I appreciate that, Chair Kivanian. What I need is for the next meeting to have all the names finalized, because we have to go and order the trophies and have all the this information available for the press.
right. Well,
May I offer a comment? I certainly appreciate the good that might be achieved by recognizing this group, but I'm a little concerned about changing criteria or adding something new, and I would rather find the right way or do it in the next round so that it's that I would be
I
more
appreciate
comfortable. I
it,
think
yeah.
trying to come back and add something now would not
Or maybe we
benefit
can
us.
be more creative and do something during the opening night at the Men's Inhumanity to Men. Yeah.
There are many places and ways
Yeah.
we can acknowledge
We
such
can.
generosity.
right. So for right now, we'll leave it as is, and then we can open
And
that
we don't
for
have to
discussion.
come back as an action
Add
item
in-
for this one.
Yeah. that's fine.
Yeah, I would think
Okay.
so.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, next item, please.
Educational workshops for artists and art organizations.
Okay, Chairman Kevanian was absent at our last meeting, but he expressed his interest about this one item that we talked about last time. And we actually decided that we should come back with more details and talk about more topics that will be available. We are planning to offer to our artists and art organizations, mainly nonprofit. And at our next meeting, we'll come back as an action item. And you'll decide if you really want to approve this project for us to do it. As I mentioned it last time, the educational workshops will take place quarterly, every 3 months, and I mentioned some of the topics that I really want to concentrate. These are the main areas that artists will be benefiting. You're welcome, of course, to add your ideas and bring your own suggestions. We've been working, doing research throughout the city, LA County, and see how the art commissioners and arts tune-up programs work. What are the kind of programs that they're offering, to see if anything we can learn from them. So the very first thing, I think public art policies is one area that almost never I have seen in the past that has been offered for artists, and they really need to be familiar with the policies. They have to know how to submit, how to do their proposals. We really need to help them out and make it easy for them to start using this, to get benefited actually from the public policies and public art. It's a huge area that we can devote one seminar specialized in this area. Master portfolio is, of course, that's the main thing. Any artist who's very serious about their career, they have to have a portfolio, and you'll be surprised by seeing very masterful artists with no portfolio. They don't know how to price their artwork. They don't have a statement, or they don't have a price list. They don't have resume, or anyway. So it is very important to start from that master portfolio. Will be very helpful for them to go back and make as many copies they want and start their presentations if they have the right winning portfolio. Grant writing, as we mentioned at our last meeting, we really need a professional to conduct these workshops, but in addition to that, I think we can also provide the list of grant opportunities nationwide on our website and help artists to go in. Once they know how to write the applications, how to submit their how to present their portfolios, then it will be very easy for them to get that information from our website and again to succeed in their career financially. Copyright and legal issues, these are regular things that artists really have to know, and we'll be sharing very important information with them, like where they can get free legal advice, who are specialized in art issues and copyright, where to go to get the application, how to apply for copyright, what needs to be copyrighted, and about their rights as well. Art Business Office or e-marketing. Art Business Office is all about forms, invoice, certificate of authenticity, all the important forms that artists usually need to have. And we have to remember, artists are different kind of breed. They like to spend their time with creating, and business side is always very weak. And this business office forms will make it so much easier for them to have those forms handy for them. And I'm sure we can come up with many other workshop ideas, seminars, and choose the best for our community and start from there.
Thank you for
That's
that.
my report.
Actually, like Ms. Marashan mentioned, I asked her to bring this back onto the agenda because I think this is an extremely important tool for artists to have, is to know the business side of things and to know how to deal with the government, how to deal with the other organizations, how to write a grant. Not a lot of artists know how to do that. And yes, it's very true. Artists do like to spend lots of their time creating and performing and doing what's fun for them. I myself, I'm a practice room maniac. I love spending time in the practice room, being a pianist. So I understand that side. First time I had to deal with business, I had no idea what I was doing. I was fooled in a contract, actually, a long time ago. But you learn, and that's how you develop a good business sense, and makes you actually a better businessman. And you learn how to do that as well. And I think it's an important tool for artists to have. So again, thank you for putting that on the for giving your report. And like Ms. Marashan said, this will come back as an action item next month. Other questions, comments?
I would also suggest that you look to the county, check with their what they offer.
You mean LA Los
LA
Angeles County Arts Commission?
Yeah, because they
have
offer
been-
some of those type of workshops and
yeah.
seminars. So if you can join with them or help them.
I actually checked their programs, and on March 7th, they have their arts tune-up workshop, which I'm planning to go. But I already have an idea which section will be good for me as an art administrator in the city, because they offer a lot of other things that we don't need, but we are checking their programs.
It wasn't at the county.
Yeah,
Who presented at Edison Pacific that time?
That is Los Angeles County Arts Commission. I would like all of you to know that the city of Glendale was one of the sponsors they're called tune-ups, arts tune-ups, and they've been going for about 4 years. And if you go back about 4 years, our logo is actually on their flyers as one of the sponsors. They basically their emphasis is for artists and small arts organizations. They do a one-day sort of workshops where they have about 20 experts come, different aspects of art making, business of art, and it's an all-day kind of presentation. And as Ripsmay mentioned, their next one is going to be on March 7th. I think it's on the west side of town. I can get the specific address.
I remember because we did something, a workshop at Edison Pacific, and I remember one as well at Brand Studios.
Right. We have been involved with these in the past. What's nice about partnering up with Los Angeles County Arts Commission is they do a lot of the work. They'll do all the reservations for people coming to these arts education workshops. They do the marketing for it. They also actually pay for the experts to come.
That's nice. So
it's something to think about and use. And I'm going to try and make it. Ripsmay's going to try and make it because it's been a couple of years since I have attended. But they could do a lot of things that Ripsmay's talking about at no cost to the city of Glendale. We just need to promote it. So heads up, sort of thing.
Well, I appreciate your bringing it to the fore because I know that there were many artists at those events who were interested in the information. So
They usually attract about 200 people, artists in the region. The nice thing about it is the LA County does 4-year. They also do them quarterly, and they move them from different sections of the LA County to give everybody a chance to, within their geographical area, to attend.
although I also think that a Glendale tailored approach could have a special, could fill a special need in community building, taking all those artists we get in our studio tours and building that community. Would be another piece.
Yeah, within that same realm, to ask them to see if they can help us when we do our tailored specific, since we are part of the county.
We could probably ask them to come back into Glendale and pick a spot, Pacific Edison maybe. They need a nice big space and do one there. We just need to sponsor it, that's all.
Yeah, we can ask George for money.
But I don't think it costs much money. It's just a matter of using the space.
Right.
Yeah, I think last time it was use of space.
Right. Any other comments, questions? Okay. Next item, please.
Commission staff comments.
You want? This is a really fast meeting. We have to prolong it somehow. Yes, Commissioner
I
Wagner.
have a little list of things. First of all, I brought the flowers. I was just at the Soar Optimist's lunch. Before this, I went as a guest, and I won the flowers at my table. So I didn't want to leave them in the car, and I thought they would help us here. They were created by Beverly Ann Florist. That's a plug for them. The CASPS, Committee for Armenian Students in Public Schools, hosted their Arts Award night at our district 2 weeks ago, I think. But it was a reminder of another one of the community groups that encourages arts, and the students were invited through their high school teachers. But there was some wonderful work there, and it was a lovely event. The school district is continuing with Arts for All. We have a committee working, and Elisa Glickman from Glendale Arts is the co-chair on that. But despite the budget woes of the state, and I haven't seen the report today. We'll be learning quickly just how which funds are flexible and to what extent the budget cuts could affect the money that's available through the governor's previous grant for arts. But we want to keep working on how to keep arts alive and ever more alive in our schools. The Glendale Educational Foundation, I wanted to report, had its Dancing for Diamonds event, and of course they support arts in our schools, technology, and athletics, fitness activities. And they, at that event, brought in $40,000 for. So a good organization can go a long way, and they've done a tremendous amount. And this is just, they've finished 4 years, so it's moved well. Unconcert at Glendale High School, the long-running tradition of our choir director there, is this weekend, tonight and tomorrow night. Although the newspaper has it down as Saturday. The Glendale website says tonight and Friday, 7 o'clock at the Glendale High School auditorium. It's their pop show. A lot of choreography, a lot of solos, and a lot of fun. The Davidian Mariamian costume display program is Sunday at Pacific Edison. That's a fun event. And I just thought I would take the opportunity. We've spoken many times up here at length about our role, and I just thought I'd mention that I did expect that perhaps by this month our commission would be something else. By now, I haven't seen anything come forward, but I have to say, and I have shared this with Mayor Draymond casually, that for my part in our economy, I don't know that this community needs another 501c3, and I think Glendale Arts has worked very hard. We worked with them, a long series of community discussions to see what people wanted and in the organization, and I am sure they would be able to adjust however the city needed to be the center arts group. So I wanted to just say that. So happy to be a part of the conversations as they continue. But if it might be, since I expect we'll be here next month, whether we could have an item on the agenda if this group would like to come to some sort of resolution. I think it would be a good. I'd like to see that as an item, so that we could at least, as a group, make a suggestion, not a resolution for the city, but maybe just an opinion, or not. But
Okay, so
that's
as an
my
action item,
current
you'd like to list it as an action item?
I would
take a formal position on?
I would be. I think that might be a good idea, but On the other hand, I don't want to do it if it's going to create more problem or strain. This is about moving things forward, but since we can't talk as a group out of camera, might as well do it here. So, I'm all
So
ready.
you want this item to come back as an action item?
I will leave it.
future
I
of-
will leave it to the rest of the committee. See what the chair says.
Sure. We can. Well, I will certainly talk to Director Shapchin about that before the next agenda. Next month's agenda. Any other comments? Shirley?
Well, I wanted to extend my thanks to Americana because they brought in the Lunar New Year celebration on February 8th, bringing in some Asian culture. There is quite a few Asians in Glendale, so I extend my thanks to them for bringing that in. Although the Glendale News Press put that the Lunar New Year was on February 7th, it was actually on January 26th was the Lunar New Year. The celebration here was on February 8th. So just a little FYI.
Little culture education. Mr. Stepanian?
I just want to say that our production of La Ronde by Arthur Schnitzler opened last week, and if you want, it will be running until March 21st at Luna Playhouse. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 8 p.m. And you can go out to our website, lunaplayhouse.com, or call 818-500-7200 if you need more information. It's a very interesting, controversial play. It was controversial when it first appeared. I guess it's less so now, but anyway, it's on now. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 8 p.m. until March 21st. La Ronde by Arthur Schnitzler.
Great. In regards to what Commissioner Wagner said, I was actually thinking the same thing about whether or not I should, as a commission, we should have a formal position. I don't think we're going anywhere actually for a little while. I try not to be a pessimist in these kinds of situations, but I personally don't think we're going in a while, and I just want to strengthen our hopes as a commission that we have to keep moving forward and we have to continue doing our job, and not to be worried, quite frankly, whether we're going to have a future or not today or tomorrow. But from what I can tell, I'm a little concerned right now for the situation of the arts in the city, and to be honest, my view of the situation is that the Glendale Arts is the public sector version of the Arts and Culture Commission. That's what they are, in my estimation. So whatever council sees fit, they will do, and all we can do is hope for the best. But we must strive, but must continue on our path, and with that, I'll stop speaking.
Go any further, we'd have to agendize it.
Yeah, no, that's Mr. Grant was giving me the evil eye. So
Attorneys do that.
Okay, next item, please. If there's no other comments.
Oh, I'd like to add also, I was contacted by Dr. John Schaap and Lucy Bergdorf of the Bob Hope Airport Public Relations Department. The finalists for the Burbank Airport banner competition, images and everything was sent to me. So sometimes next week you will receive those emails and the guidelines. There are 3 finalists. You need to prepare yourself because on our next meeting they will be here with the original works, and you'll make the final decisions about the finalists, who's going to be the winner. we have another action item.
Ah,
So it's going to be full of action items next month.
Good. I was just about to ask about that because I think it was in the Glendale News Press that they have a lot of finalists.
No, we have 3 finalists, and I have all the information already.
Correct, but they mentioned that the other cities too,
Oh, okay.
Burbank and Pasadena, right?
One more.
yes, go right ahead.
I just wanted to mention that I had a letter from Adam Schiff, our congressman, directed to the school board, but regarding the congressional arts competition. So I just wanted you to know that will be, students are being advised by their teachers that they can participate, and the works are then hung at the Capitol in the hallway. So the event is April 26th, Sunday, April 26th. And anyway, it's nice to know that our congressman is supporting the arts in that way,
Yes.
encouraging arts here. So
Great. Next item, please.
Written communications. None.
I'm surprised. Okay, well, I guess next item is adjournment. With that, we adjourn this meeting. Thank you.